Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. What up everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. What's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you see my last videos, you know that I love Tales from the Crypt. This is what created horror. This is what made horror what it is. Like, it used to be comics and then they draw it out and stuff like that, and then it would be a comic. But that's not scary. So they're like, oh, let's make a show, you know what I mean? But what if you worked for these comic books? Like, what if you drew the pictures? Every time you drew a picture, that drawing would come to life. Well, that's the case with Kormans Kalamity, the episode in Tales from the Crypt. This is season 2, episode 13. This is one of my favorite episodes in the world. I actually love this episode so much because it's so good. Like, it's so simple. I love the idea of like monsters and stuff like that. But let's just dive into it. So we start off with Korman. He is an artist. He's a depressed, artist. All of his coworkers don't really fricks with him. And he's trying to draw up some goblins and ghouls for his next art, but he can't think of nothing. So he kind of gives up, and, his boss and his worker are kind of like, why can't you draw? Like, why can't you do this? Because you are so good, you can do it every single time. And bro's like, I had enough of this shit. Get out of here. But then we hear bong, bong, bong on the door. And then what is that? That's actually Korman's freaking wife. And they literally, the boss and the coworker literally scatter because they don't want to deal with the craziness, because you'll see. So in comes the wife. She's kind of bad though. She kind of walks in like a diva, and she does this little walk and she's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? And then he's like, I've been just drawing and shit and stuff like that. And then the girl's like, you cheated on me, you little hoe. I'm gonna find that little slut that's hiding in the back. I can't, So she thinks that he's hiding someone in the back, but, he's definitely not. He's kind of a chud. And she's like, well, I don't give a damn. I wish I never married you. Here's a picture. I'm gonna throw that shit in the fucking trash. And she walks and she's like, well, you're stuck with me now. So the woman is like, oh, I'm trying to get pregnant. I can't get pregnant. Your dick is too small. Like, you have no nut in you. And he's like, the doctor said it could be both of us. And she did not like that. She's like, you accused me of something? Why did you accuse me of something? And then he's like, you're right. And she's like, you haven't been taking your pills. And then shows him a pill bottle. And she said that she counted every single pill bottle, every single pill, to make sure he's taking his pills. And he says, no, those pills make my imagination run crazy. Makes my imagination go crazy. And she's like, I don't give a damn. Maybe you can draw something good for a change. And that's basically the end of that interaction. He doesn't want to take the pills, yo. He pops one, though, for his woman, He pops one for his woman, and he's about to draw some crazy shit. So she walks away like a diva, slams the door. So then this gives him the power. I don't know if it's like because he's angry and anxious, but this gives him the power to like draw, I guess. So then he draws this crazy frog looking thing. He draws this frog little monster that's coming out of a laundry machine, which is pretty good actually. He kind of drew that up in like 2 seconds. Then we fast forward. I don't know her name. I don't think they said it, but she's bad as hell though. And she is at the laundromat. I love the vibe. Like, do you guys also love the vibe of like jobs? Like, not like having a job, just like, oh, the laundromat at dark and there's no one there and you're the only person there and the lights are still on and it's still running. And then there's like one Asian girl in the back sitting down doing Sudoku. And you're just doing your laundry with no one else in there at dark, and you just gotta put your quarters in and walk. I love the vibe. So anyways, she puts her money in, and oh wait, there's Korman. He is standing there watching her. Do they know each other? I don't know, but they have an instant attraction, and she's kind of digging him, I'm not gonna lie. But then he's folding his little undies and stuff, and she's like, hey, hey, hey. And he just walks away, and she's looking low-key baddie, and yeah, the power freaking goes off. Who turned out the life? Now I can't get my laundry anymore. And then this hillbilly comes out of nowhere and he's like, hey, are you by yourself? And she's like, oh man, can you turn the lights back on and stuff like that? And he's like, I don't work here. And then he's like, well, can you just check the back and see what happened? And then he was like, I did it. And then And then he does this weird little monologue, and then he like gets a knife and then tries to stab her. So then he's chasing her with a knife and shit, and she's like, "No, I'm a cop." Pulls out her badge. "What are you gonna do to me? I'm a cop. You can't kill me. I have protection. You can't kill me. I'm a cop. I'm basically like a mob boss in this area." And then he's like, "I don't give a damn." And then he tries to get closer, but then she does this fucking martial artist technique and takes him down and says, "Waya!" Does this actually work? Does that get you ready for the... Does that get you ready? I don't know. So then he's like, "Who are you? I don't want to fix with you, dude." And she's like, yeah, you know, I'm a freaking cop and stuff. And then out of nowhere, this freaking monster frog looking thing comes out of the goddamn washing machine and bites his head off. Like, clean off. They didn't even eat it. I think he just ate the middlemost part of his neck and just left the head and the body. I think he just ate this part of his neck. I don't think that, like, it was hungry. I think he just wanted to kill. And she's like, "Oh my god, what the frick?" His head falls off, and then she's like, "Oh," runs away. She literally runs away, and his head is on the ground. And then we flash forward to the crime scene, and she's just chilling there, but she's not investigating it because she was a victim, IG. And then they're like, "Oh, you're telling me this frog..." Oh my god, I just spat. "You're telling me this frog monster came out of the goddamn washing machine and ripped his head off." And she was like, "Yeah, I have no reason to lie to you. I'm a cop."
I am a cop.
Guys, and just so you know, being a cop in this episode does not matter at all. Like, at all. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not crazy," and stuff. And then the other cop, I think the chief, is like, "Well, there's someone that said they saw a two-headed man and also a T-Rex and a Volkswagen. And you know, and you're saying you saw a frog in a washing machine." So it's like kind of all these people are saying crazy stuff. And she's like, no. I'm not crazy. I actually saw this stuff. And she did actually saw this stuff. And she's being honest. And yeah, I don't know if she gets fired at this point. But literally being a cop never comes in play ever. Like, she doesn't like have a gun or like, I don't know. We'll see. But she is walking down the road. And she goes to the stop, and she sees these magazines, and they're Tales from the Crypt magazines, actually. And she's like, "Wait a minute, I've seen that before." And then it's the frog that the guy drew, and they're like, "Wait a minute, that's the frog." And then they're like, "Oh my god, wait, this guy's drawings are coming to life." And then she reads the name, Jim Korman, which is the guy, and it fast forwards to the producers talking about some stories, and then this baddie walks in with some letters and stuff like that, and then whatever. And Jim is drawing this little pig monster. It doesn't really look that good, but he's drawing this pig and stuff, and he's on the phone with his wife and stuff like that, and she's biting his ear off and stuff like that, and he doesn't want any of it. He feels like he needs to draw to get his anger out. Out of the blue comes a freaking hand, and then he crumples it up, and then whatever, it dies. You know the drill. So then he goes to his freaking car. In his car lays the girl, and she's like, "Hey, I'm a cop." The only reason she's a cop is so she can say she's a cop in any scenario she wants. I think that's pretty badass, though. She's like, "Hey, you're the drawer of these frogs and stuff like that. Have you seen these? And there is a freaking frog monster at the laundry machines." And she's like, "You drew these, and you drew all of these things, and look at the police sketches, and look at the drawings." And it's literally just a one-to-one drawing. Like, the police sketches just look like his drawings, which is funny. And he's like, "Oh, well, I guess that does kind of look, the same." He drew these. I don't know why it wouldn't instantly click, but he's kind of dumb, I guess, like that. The cop is like, "Hey, I want you to draw up a drawing, and if it comes to life, then we know it's true." What do you mean? Didn't they draw already so many drawings, and then so many came to true? No way. And then she's like, "Okay, let's head over to your office." And he sits down after hours at the frick thing, and she's looking on him like, no, she's looking bad, though. and he draws up a picture and stuff, and he can draw something good because I think he's in love or something. And then he grabs his wife's picture and throws it in the garbage can, which is a W move. And the cop is like, hey, this place is gross and dirty, and you know, what are you gonna make the monster look like? Scary? And then he just draws up this like Frankenstein-esque monster, zombie, like just a zombie coming out of a fridge. Why are all these monsters coming out of things? You know, why can't it be a monster coming out of the closet? You know, call it goddamn monster weena. But he's like, all right, I'm done. Nothing happened. I guess it didn't work. And then she's like, oh no, maybe it happened elsewhere and stuff like that. There's no fridge around here. There's no fridge. And then she's like, anything's possible. And then Jim is like, anything? And then gets up into her face and tries to freaking kiss her. Like, he is a chud, but that was a good shot. I'm not gonna lie. She was low-key into it. But she's like, no, I can't. I'm a cop. Like, well, what about this? How about I make a romance comic? But I do need some inspiration. And then he kisses her, and then they kiss, and then they, you know, they're good for each other and stuff. But, you know, he's got a little wife. You know, she might have a husband. She's like, oh, okay, I have to go. You know, like, obviously. She's like, I'll call you. And then he's like, for a date? Everything that comes out of his mouth is Riz. Like, he doesn't say anything real. Like, he should have just said, all right, bye, see you later. No, he's like, the fuck? You're gonna call me the fuck? Okay, whatever you say. She wants him and stuff like that. They want each other. Anyway, she leaves. Fast forward to the fucking Army Navy soldiers. Like, no, these are just a bunch of boys playing Army. And this little boy is like, hey, I want to play too. Kids are like, no, you're not allowed to play with us. You have glasses. Well, he didn't say that, but that's probably what it is. And then they go on an adventure and then like start firing. And then a little boy is walking around and he sees something wobbling in the fridge. Then he pulls out his blick. This was the most manly thing I've seen a kid do in my life. Honestly, look at that. Watch this. Woo! He cocks it back. Hey, who's in there? I got a gun. You know? I got glasses and a gun and overalls. Come out of here. So he tries to open the fridge, but nothing's budging. And then we see this green goop coming out. And then he's like, guys, you gotta look at this. And they start coming running over. And they're like, what do you see, bro? You are not that important. And then he's like, bro, our friend is in the fridge. Because he thinks there's his friend in the fridge because it was wobbling around. But bro, this is not a friend. This is not a friend. Anyways, they try to open the door, but nothing's happening. And then the main kid is like, I bet it's some crazy monster in the fridge. And I bet it's gonna kill you. And then the monster starts climbing out of the fridge while his back's turning, and they all scream. And then we see this monster, and they run away. And he's like, oh, shit. When he turns around, and he screams, and he doesn't die for some reason. But this is the weirdest scene out of all of it. Like, not this scene, but one specific shot in general. While the kids are running, the nerdy boy with glasses turns around, breaks the fourth wall, and is like, remember, I found it. I'll play the clip right now. It was the weirdest thing. It was so weird. I don't know. I found him. Cuts to the office again, and the boss is like, Jim, what are you doing? You're behind schedule. What can you do? But Jim's just so in love and stuff, and he's drawing love books and stuff like that, and not horror comics that he should be doing. And he's like, oh, I'm just trying to do a little more romantic and stuff like that. And his boss is like, oh, what happened to you? Did you lose some weight or something? And then he's like, it's a long story. And then he's like, the boss is like, my wife's not as forgiving as yours. And stuff like that, because his boss is pretty forgiving, you know what I mean? And Jim calls a cop, and he's like, huh? Baby, let me suck your toe. Because everything he says is a freaking Riz. And she's just trying to be normal and stuff like that, but then he's on the phone with this shorty, and Buddy made a mistake. Buddy's wife is standing there, listening to everything he's saying. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're trying to meet some playgirl, are ya? And then he's like, no, you're the only woman I love. in the world. And then she's like, yeah, well, pigs have wings and stuff like that. And she storms off for some reason. So she wasn't that mad. But then he's like, oh, man, I just want a fine ass biddy. You know, I just want a fine shorty. And then he draws his last drawing, which is the pig he's been trying to draw all this time, but it's facing the front and stuff like that. And this is a way better image. So once he draws this, you know what happens. His wife coming in, and she's got a freaking gun. She's got a revolver. So she points it at him, and he's like, why are you trying to freaking fuck bitches and stuff like that? And he's like, I can explain. What are you doing? You were crazy. And then she grabbed a drawing from his hand, and then she's like, is this me? Are you drawing me? Then she throws it on the ground, and he gets a gun out, and she's pointing at him, and then he's like, bro, these pills are making me crazy. That's why I drew you like this. Uh-huh, buddy. Uh-huh. And then out of the freaking blue comes what looks like to be his wife, but it's the pig looking like the wife and copying what she's doing. And she's like, is that me? She's like, you need to eat some laxatives or put some zit cream on or something like that. And then this makes the pig want to kill her instead. And she's got a gun and stuff like that. But then, yeah, so she shoots the pig. It bleeds for some reason. Like, it has blood, which is wild, which I didn't expect. So then they start tussling around, and he's like, well, you guys got a lot of catching up to do, huh? And he walks out, throws the pills in the trash, and look who's that. That's the cop, and she's wearing a dress, and they're about to go on a date. And while his wife is getting mauled to death in the back, she's like, what's going on? Like, is this not where the cop instinct takes in toll? Like, you're literally a cop. You see these people getting tussled. No, they're just doing maintenance. That's what he said. They're just doing maintenance on the building. Like, being a cop does not come up at all, besides her being like, I'm a cop. It's her only identifying factor. Besides, she's bad. You know, they didn't want to just make her bad. You know, they gotta, you know, they go on a date, and we see literally them like, oh my God, this is so corny. Like, them like drinking wine and stuff like that. But then she's like, tell me, do you have a wife? And he's like, not anymore. And then it ends. I thought it was a little like corny at sometimes, but that's what makes Tales from the Crypt what Tales from the Crypt is. If it was good, then it wouldn't be that good. You know, it's good because it's like cliche and corny. But anyways, I'm gonna leave that as that. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more Tales from the Crypt recaps. Like, awesome. Like, I love doing these videos. It's so freaking fun. So let me know if you want anything. And yeah, so yeah. Subscribe. Yeah.